We got to see one chill pills, charge it out. Is it him or Diabolical first? Because looks like Diabolics has already set himself up a gateway and everything. We got this Reflex on that team. Double death, and we got chill pills and Reflex. Also, wait, one is Unholy, one is Frost. I was gonna say maybe both are Frost. One following the other in the other's footsteps. VAR over the team as well. And Seaver gonna be first up over for the team. 2, trying to go for a bit of invis, hoping to get himself a good opener onto Diabolics. Having a pet out as a Demonology Warlock is going to give him such a massive advantage. Does get himself frozen. That's actually going to be main pet CC'd. Not much he can really do. Main pet's frozen. Wait, his main Demon Dog is also got frozen on the approach over Seaver. Trying to go for a fear. Going to be a quick interrupt to Seaver. Trying to see if he can capture as much control from Diabolics with damage of his own. Trying to go for as much damage as possible. While line deciding the pets, he's trying to continue damage rolling in. While line deciding the main pets of Diabolics. Making sure that the Axe Toss can't connect with him as easily. So he's trying to play both. He's trying to play against the pet, trying to keep it away, but also trying to play against Diabolics, trying to make sure he doesn't get a proper kick on him or anything. Big barrages. Actually, Diabolics is on an execute, which could be really bad for him. He has some barrage, but he does go for a big heal. Soulburn to escape that execute range. Going to be an attempt for a Kyrian big go with a Radiant Spark for Seaver, but looks like maybe he's just going to delay it for a moment. Does get quite a bit of damage towards Diabolics. Either way, though, Axos to lock down the Mage for a moment. Does have himself the all the time and using those blinks in order to get himself in a better position. Going to be a port for Diabolics. He's literally get to peer into his head. I swear I saw some eyeballs there for just a moment. Is it going to be Seaver trying to go for a bit of a reset? Going behind the pillar as a Mortal Coil does connect. Got himself shifted power. Maybe could get himself a lot of cooldowns. Diabolics is getting prepared for whatever comes next. Because that's going to be likely a pretty big burst combo for Seaver. Sending up a Ring of Frost on one side. Doesn't quite catch the pen in it. Getting some damage to Diabolics. He's just going to walk into it. Main Demon Dog is doing it frozen as they pass to the Ring of Frost, which is super unfortunate. Big damage. Barrages back to back. Oh my god. See, Mark, what was that? A touch of the Magi? Is that what that was? It looked like he was just literally crushing that touch of the Magi off of that barrage. There was so much damage at the very end, but the Mage does have mad executes, big birds, great mobility on top of it. And if you can manage all of these things at once, all together, all at the same time, I feel like Arcane could technically be unstoppable. Big setup onto Val, maybe in trouble. I think could still be dead. Got himself the Shield of Vengeance. Is it going to be enough though? Could be a massive barrage. Trying to see if he can... Oh! Touch of the Magi follows through. I feel like maybe Var was focusing on those barrages, trying to make sure he bubbles a barrage, but Touch of the Magic collects a portion of the damage. Even if you haven't absorbed like a Shield of Vengeance on you, it will still calculate all that. You got absorbed, but it still counts it. Okay, big barrage from here, big barrage there, all got absorbed, but Touch of the Magic doesn't really care afterwards. It just looks at the numbers, not what got absorbed, but what was dealt by Seavark, and just collapses it all into you at once. As Shilpa's gonna be up next. That would be one of the classes that's a bit of a hard counter for Arcane. We'll see if Seavark can maybe bypass him. Trying to go for blast back to back. No more. Oh, what was that? Oh my goodness. You blink and you miss it. That's what Arcane mages do. You blink and you miss it. Seaver though don't miss. This man don't miss. What was that? Oh, I honestly was not prepared mentally or emotionally for that one. That was something. Gonna be a big barrage on the Seavark as Reflex is gonna try to see if he can have himself a go versus this Mage. My goodness, as soon as you don't have AMS, it's oh my god, it's over, it feels like. But Seavark does end up blasting him out. He does have to see if he can survive past the Unholy Death. That is going to be able to root out the pets. That is an advantage of a Mage, though. He can put some control onto all these pets. Nova, Ice Nova, Breath, potentially knockback into these pets. He can try to see if he can deny some of the damage for Flex, but as soon as that Valkyrie is going to be on him, as soon as the main pet is going to be on, yeah, does have all the time to reset, so he wasn't feeling pressured at all whatsoever. He was fine taking a bit of damage, but definitely needs to maintain that shield as much as possible. As that Valkyrie, you're just going to keep raining down Shadow Bolts at you. Big breath from Poly onto Reflex. The pet can still go for a proper stun here. Does not have a way to interrupt him, but it's going to be a mad damage. The Rip does drop down a dome in order to help reduce a lot of the damage he's taken. Radiant Spark out for Seavark. Try to see if he can set up a big go here. AMS up for Reflex. He can potentially rip through the AMS. It's going to get stunned up. No way out of it. Touch the Magic still could do a lot of damage potentially. And Reflex is just going to not take as much damage as I thought he would. Seavark trying to make sure he doesn't get interrupted. And try to see if he can juke out a kick. Does get a juke out a kick. Perfect opportunity to go Radiant Spark. Potentially massive damage. Does he have a big go? Reflex got himself extra bolster of health. But it's going to be an Ice Block for Seavark. Decided, you know what? I feel like this is where I just go for a defensive. Big A-bomb spawning in. Seavark try to see if he can potentially just escape it really quickly. Could have sat in that Ice Block for a little bit longer. But I think maybe not even running the Ice Block that gives you a heal. So that's potentially what he is going with here. He potentially just cannot really heal at the moment. So next stun by Rip, if he doesn't have a blink for it, could be quite deadly. Gonna be an invis by Seaver, trying to make sure he doesn't get CC. That's gonna be a trinket off of the blind, but Dragonflight does have him locked in. The Army of the Dead joining in, got himself a breath, and needs to find a way to escape the Army of the Dead, but I think it just may be over for this Arcane Mage, surrounded by these ghosts. Try to see if he can escape Rip. That's gonna be Nova onto all these pets. Rip unable to grip him back in the open. That's gonna be shit power available for Seaver to get himself a bit held back, but that death goal is gonna take him out. There's just not much you can really do. That's one of those things where normally I think Arcane Mages and Mages in general probably don't play Icebug that heals you. Chim is going to be up next. Also another Arcane Mage, as Rip tried to see if he could rip right through him. Tried to go for a big grip, but it looks like wasn't able to connect. Second grip right after. That might have been a grip from the grippy hand that time. Onto Chim as he's actually surrounded by the Army of the Dead. Wait, big damage rolling for Rip. Does end up going for a big breath in order to take the pets off of him for just a moment, but big death calls and the main pet might actually just have him. Might need an ice block. Oh, it looks like he does go down. Rip actually trying to see if he can bring it back for his team little by little. Stormluck is going to be up next to the Shadow Place. Big payout, they're ready. Rip does end up surrounding himself with an AMS in order to give himself a little bit of protection from magic. Mind Games to follow. Can't really do much. Going to be a blind onto Storm as he tried to see if he can go for even more damage. Silence onto Rip. Kind of limited to what he can really do. Can't even heal himself for the time being. Definitely needs a heal as soon as possible though. AMS coming up, not for a while now. But Deathback maybe could be his last savior. Maybe his last bastion of support. Does end up going for a Deathback, but can't really heal right now. He does have all those necrotics, so he just needs to maximize as much damage as he can. Full army of the undead and surrounding Stormlugs, though. I don't know if they have Shackle Undead, but try to see if he can heal through it. But the army, I think, may just be the end of you. Wait, potential Reflex will take you out. Maybe Storm does get himself Power Word Life to help him stay alive, but it's going to be a couple of seconds in between of uses of that ability. Does get full down to the Rip. He is melting out, bleeding out profusely, but still so far hanging in there. Wants to keep fighting until the very bitter end. Does get a Death Strike off of Beastly, and I think Beastly may just give him an opportunity to recover a bunch of health, potentially, partially. I feel like Reflex realizes, you know what, there's only so much healing I can do. We should just duel. At this point, let's just duel. At this point, I'll just press AMS. We'll just fight against each other. Whatever happens, happens. Does go for a trinket, but I think Beastly is just not in a situation where he could lose. Rip at no help whatsoever. He played really, really well, admirably, going from one caster to the next to the next. You know, bringing it back for his team as a team of 4, but there's only so much you can do. I guess, at Demonology at the end there. Let's get ourselves another go, boys. Seaver did really good, but yo, Flex also was making a pretty big comeback, was he not? That is absolutely incredible, man. Absolutely incredible.